Hello, and welcome to day 2 of the 5 days to kick anxiety's ass challenge. I'm excited for day 2 because we're going to go over the physical aspect. So yesterday we went over the 5 different types of anxiety, and today we're going to focus in on the physical and the habitual / circumstantial. So this is going to be everything that's really in your control and letting go of the things that aren't in your control. And you're going to use the same tools across the board for these 2 types of anxiety. So I want to ease into it in the sense of for these 2 types of anxiety, you're going to have tools that you can use really easily, and it's not going super deep. Like habits, yes, we have to unravel them, but I guess they're the 2 easiest things to start to get a handle on. And what happens with that is it's a snowball effect. You're going to start to feel like you have you're going to start to feel confident in seeing these things work. So I guess I go over these first because I know that they work the quickest. Okay, so what I want to go over first is the physical aspects of anxiety. So yesterday we went over where it's like everything you eat, right? So it could be like gluten. I know my anxiety actually increases. Like I get anxiety if I eat too much gluten in one day. And I don't know if that's because I have some kind of intolerance or not, or if it's because of the glyphosate, which I went over in yesterday's video. So I have a solution for that today. So what happens with the mind-body connection is your serotonin, yeah, your serotonin is made in your gut, and it creates 60 to 90% of your serotonin, and your gut is your second brain. And so if your gut is unhealthy, which most of the people on the standard American diet's gut is unhealthy, you can have increased anxiety or depression, or it's your happy hormone. Like serotonin is your happy hormone, and it's made in the gut. So when your gut's not working properly, it's not producing the serotonin you need. And then that's when your mental health can decline from physical things such as poor gut health. And it also affects a lot of other things. So what I like to do is every quarter I do a gut cleanse, which includes a parasite cleanse. It's nothing weird, like you don't see parasites or anything like that, but it cleanses out all of the bad shit in your gut, and it gets you on green juices every day and some of the best superfoods in the world. Honestly, I have lived with them for 2 years now, and I can't imagine my life without them. So I am going to leave in the comments or in the description the link for you to buy a gut cleanse that I do. It's called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. That's the one I do every quarter, like a full cleanse. And I have a code, like a gift card code. So if you use that, you get $50 off. So that's the first step. And I feel like that's the first step because you cannot master the spiritual and the mindset portion of it without it. Like you may be able to, but you can dive in a little. But in my experience, once my gut started working properly, it became a whole lot easier to tackle the other stuff, like the old habits. I had already gained some confidence from tackling like my sugar habits, or I was already not drinking coffee at the time when I first did my gut cleanse. And yeah, so mainly sugar for me because that ensues anxiety, but gluten also. And it's not that you can't have gluten on it, it's that it encourages you to have a vacation from processed food and bread and all that kind of stuff that's processed. So if you're eating whole foods, then your body can actually start to do what it's meant to do, and those serotonin levels can start to come back up. There's also a product in there that I mentioned yesterday called Biomedic, and that is what removes glyphosate from your body, which also causes anxiety. So that's the first step, and you can do it or you cannot do it. I highly recommend you do it. I highly recommend you look at all the ingredients. It's all high quality, organic, like certified plant whole foods. So it's literal food, like it's not supplements, they are superfoods. And yeah, that's the first step. If you don't want to do that, that's totally up to you. But you are going to, I would say it definitely supercharges the journey. Like I think that it helps out a lot because it's already restoring your body's mind gut connection, which is huge for anxiety. And once I realized this, I was like, holy shit, everyone needs to know this, because half the time we walk around and we're just like, why am I so tired? Or why am I having like these weird thoughts or whatever? And it's frustrating because your body at that time is working against you, and it's your body's not working against you. The things you're putting in your body are not creating an environment where your body can thrive, and that's why the mind suffers. So I want to go over just a few things that have to do with your physical aspects that relate to your mental, just so you can start to make this connection. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, and I think I mentioned this on day one, but I didn't fully go into it because I was saving it for today. So the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, they're two different parts of your nervous system, two different parts of your brain. And sympathetic is fight or flight, right? So it's the anxiety. It's what gets triggered when you have anxiety, when you experience anxiety, when you experience panic. And I want to just give you some backstory on what that comes from. Our brain is 2,000 years old. Like it is old hardware with new software, I like to say. So the brain is still programmed to fear, like as if a bear was chasing after us. Of course, in this day and age, there's not many instances where a bear is going to be chasing after you and you are like fighting for your life. And so the sympathetic nervous system tells you that a bear is chasing you when maybe you're on your way to work and you're late, right? So it's a little bit of a dramatic response. And that's why sometimes you may feel like, why am I like so dramatic? Like, why is this anxiety like so heavy and so overwhelming? Because it's not that big of a deal. Like the event that's happening is not that crazy. So why am I freaking out? I know that's how I used to feel. And also because I would feel like invalidated by other people and stuff like that. That's another story. But so that's the sympathetic nervous system. And then the parasympathetic nervous system is your calming Zen part of your brain. So when you do EFT tapping, like emotional freedom technique, remember when I talked about the self-love sandwich yesterday, and I said that I had a self-love EFT tapping video? That is up on my YouTube channel that I will put in the description below so you can see it. But when you do things like EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique, box breathing, which we're going to go over tomorrow, when you do things like that, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system and it calms everything down. It moves you out of, because your parasympathetic nervous system is activated, it moves you out of the fight or flight mode and into calm and soothing yourself. So it's really important to have these tools. Again, once you cleanse your gut, it makes it much easier to hone in on these things. But you can start using EFT tapping tomorrow. You can start using box breathing tomorrow. I've been using box breathing, which is basically, I could just show you it now. It's in through the nose for 4 counts, hold it at the top, and then out through the mouth for 4 counts. And so it's like in through the nose, 4 counts, out through the mouth, 4 counts, in through the nose, 4 counts, out through the mouth, 4 counts. So it's, I guess that's why it's called box breathing or square breathing. But I've been using it for at least like 10 years, and it's still my first response when I start to feel anxiety coming on. I do my box breathing, I immediately activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And then even if the anxiety is still there and it doesn't fully get rid of it, then I can start to work through what's happening and why it came up. So it immediately just calms you down. Use that box breathing next time you have anxiety, and you do it until you feel calm. Like, it may take 15 minutes of box breathing. I know that I used to do it right before bed. Like, if I used to feel anxious before bed, like I told you on day 1, I would do box breathing, and it would almost have a counting sheep effect, where then I would just get so relaxed that I would fall asleep. So it really, really helps for those times, especially in the beginning of the anxiety journey. Like, if you feel super overwhelmed right now, it'll really help for those times when you just need to calm yourself down, like, immediately. Yeah, so the other thing I really want to mention today is just the inner dialogue that's going on in your head, because today is all about the physical and the mindset aspect of anxiety. And the inner dialogue that's going on in your head, and this may be obvious to some people, but it was not obvious to me when I was on my anxiety journey in the beginning. I literally thought I was crazy for so many years, because I was like, I don't know what voice to trust, right? And I talked about this yesterday, where once the anxiety gets so severe, you're like, you become indecisive about everything. You become like, I have no idea what to trust, what voice to trust, what's happening in my head. How do I even make a decision? Like, it becomes so confusing. And so I want to remind you, and I want to tell you, and I don't care if this sounds obvious to some people, because some people need to hear it. I know I needed to hear it. The inner dialogue in your head, the 2 voices bouncing back and forth, or maybe 5 voices, they are not you. That's just simply the inner dialogue, the ego, whatever. It's not you. You are your consciousness. So you are just sitting there witnessing it all, if that makes sense. And a book that I read that I'm going to recommend right now, that opened my eyes so much to this and really helped me to understand, like, who is the self, is called The Untethered Soul by Michael B. Singer. It is an amazing book. I would show you it, but it's not on my bookshelf above me. It's actually by my bed. It is an amazing book. It helped me so much with how to identify yourself. Okay, so The Untethered Soul by Michael B. Singer. I'll put it down in the description or the comments. And that's really it that I wanted to go over today. I didn't want to overwhelm you too much. I just wanted to go over the physical aspect. I still have some mindset things to go over tomorrow on day 3, but they are a little bit more in depth. So I wanted to, tomorrow is going to be a longer video. And so I wanted to really dive in. Tomorrow, we're going to wrap up on physical, habitual, circumstantial. On the deeper end of it, which is today, was more of like the informational, wrap your head around it kind of day. And then tomorrow we're going to dive in, and that's going to be that. And I think we're going to go over the deep rooted emotional tomorrow too. So tomorrow is going to be a really packed day, and we're going to start to go deep. And that's why I wanted to keep today a little light, since yesterday was kind of like an introduction, and I didn't want to overwhelm you too much, but today I really just wanted to give you the valuable information about these topics so that you can just start to get into that mindset of what we're going into tomorrow, which is going to be much deeper. So the tools that I recommended again are EFT tapping, affirmations, practice, just practice. It takes time. Like, it fucking takes time. And that's okay. And don't think that overnight it's going to feel better. I will tell you that the box breathing works automatically. Like, and people say breathe, and then other people, like, I see it on social media all the time. Other people are like, don't just tell me to calm down, or don't just tell me to breathe. Like, I'm telling you, this breathing is proven to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and it will calm you down. Trust in the process, breathe until you feel calm, and then reassess the situation. Okay, so today was really all about getting you quick ways to reduce your anxiety today, right now. I want you to see results immediately. And then we're going to go into the deeper stuff tomorrow and the rest of the week, so that as you get further into this journey, and obviously it's all not going to happen in 5 days or this week, but I want you to have the tools for the deep part of the journey for when you are ready. And you'll always have these videos to go back and look at them, so you can always rewatch them when you're ready to do that part, if that makes sense. I don't want to rush anybody's journey. I want to give you all of the knowledge in one place, so you have it. You can always come back to it. And that's that. If you have questions about the cleanse, about the physical aspect, about EFT tapping, again, that's on my YouTube channel, Self-Love EFT Tapping. In the course, there's also one on anxiety specifically, which is a really, really awesome EFT tapping. Those tappings, like, they were channeled through me and I created them. So I created them from scratch, and they are fucking gold for this journey, because like, it helped me so much. So let me know if you have any questions about today, day 2. And if you had any questions about day 1, if you're still catching up, let me know, and I will see you tomorrow.